this meeting of the Senate Gaming Committee to order. We have 3 appointments to consider this morning, and we do have a quorum. First, I'm going to ask Mike McGreevy, who has been reappointed to the Lottery Corporation to come forward. Mr. McGreevy, if you could come right over here, please. These meetings are broadcast over the internet, and that's why we ask folks to come to the podium. If you could please take the microphone there and push the button so that the green light comes on.
Okay, green light's on.
Great. You have been serving on the Lottery Corporation and have been reappointed. Can you briefly tell the committee about your experience there, what you've learned, and why you would like to continue to serve?
Well, I appreciate the honor of coming before you today for another important decision that you need to make. Yes, when the lottery was originally formed, I was appointed as a member. We've been serving for the past 5 years. The results, I hope you've all heard about it. We've exceeded what I believe the initial expectations were. I was initially elected as chairman of the board when we started to help with the building blocks, but we have a team with the entire board, and I still remain as chairman of the board as we've been moving forward. And if reaffirmed with my fellow board members, I believe we will continue on the same trek that we are, and providing necessary or essential service to the state with regards to providing funding for roads and bridges and education out there. So anyway, I believe it's been very successful, and we'd like the opportunity, if afforded it, to continue serving, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Do you have any suggestions, both at the corporation through its regulatory authority, or that the legislature ought to consider to make any changes to the way things have been running? I know you had to sort of start everything from scratch. It's been running for a while now. And any suggestions on changes or things that we should do differently?
We have none to bring forward at this point. The legislative authority that you've given us has given us plenty of authority. There are items that in the future we will probably in bringing forward, but at this point, we have ample authority to continue to provide a good service.
And I know the members of the committee have all been provided with your background information, which is very impressive, and your service to the country and to the state. You also work with a lobbying firm here in town, and can you discuss how you keep those activities separate?
I can, and in my life, as you stated, I served a career in the United States. Going back, I actually grew up on the Gulf Coast.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you, Mr. McGreevy.
Sir?
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay. What I was just repeating, I am a Mississippian. I grew up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I went to college here in the state. Then I joined the military, served a career, retired out of the Air Force, came back to the state, and I started working in economic development, and also took a stint where I went 5 years at Mississippi State University as the vice president for finance and administration, because I have a strong financial background, which is one of the items we did also in the Air Force. But my last duty in the state was I served as the deputy director and the chief financial officer for the Mississippi Development Authority. I retired about 2 years ago, and then I was invited to join the firm of Bryant, Sonji, Snell, which I've been serving with them. And what I do is when they have a particular project that's dealing with economic development and working on the incentives, I will advise on what incentives are available for particular companies that are asking for representation coming in the state. And then we will have them work with the Mississippi Development Authority. But there have been no conflicts that have come up with regards to the Lottery Corporation and this. If there were some, I assure you, I would stand down real fast.
Thank you very much, Mr. McGreevy. Do any members of the committee have any questions for Mr. McGreevy or comments? If there are no questions, is there a motion on Senate nomination number 68? Senator Younger moves that we do advise and consent on Senate nomination number 68, Mike McGreevy, to the Lottery Corporation. All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? It's unanimous, Mr. McGreevy. Thank you again for your willingness to serve, and we'll report your nomination to the full Senate for confirmation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next appointment is Senate nomination number 79, Jeremy Felder of Hattiesburg, who is a new appointee to the Gaming Commission. Mr. Felder, if you could come forward, please.
Morning.
Good morning. Thank you for driving up and your willingness to be considered for this position. Gaming Commission is it's important, and as you know from having provided the information to the peer committee, the background check is maybe the most thorough of any appointment that the governor makes. Can you tell us why you are interested in serving on the Gaming Commission?
I'm a lifelong resident of the state of Mississippi. Have been involved with numerous departments within the state through different businesses we operate. So I've had a long-standing relationship with a lot of the people in Jackson. Got a lot of family along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I understand the importance of gaming to the Mississippi economy and what it does for us. So for me, it was just an interesting opportunity to help the state of Mississippi grow in that area of our economy.
Any members of the committee have any questions for Mr. Felder?
No question, Mr. Chairman, but I would like to speak.
Senator Robinson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. I'm excited to have the opportunity to speak for my friend Jeremy Felder. I've known Jeremy for a number of years. He's a person of integrity. He has a wonderful family and is vice president of a very large company in our area. He is married to Stephanie, and they have, they're the proud parents of twins, Stella and Benton. And he is vice president of Chancellor Incorporated. It's a large, complex organization that provides services to the largest utilities, electric power companies, and cooperatives in the Southeast. And I, having known Jeremy and his ability and being the person of integrity that he is, he will continue to ensure that our Gaming Commission is held to the highest standard, and he will help maintain the public confidence in the gaming industry. And I appreciate your consideration of my friend Jeremy Felder.
Thank you very much, Senator Robinson. Any other questions or concerns regarding Mr. Felder? If there are none, I would ask for a motion on Senate nomination number 79.
Motion to do advise and consent.
Senator Younger moves that we do advise and consent to confirm Mr. Jeremy Felder to the Gaming Commission. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous, Mr. Felder. I hope that wasn't too painful. We again appreciate your willingness to serve on this important commission. We'll take your confirmation to the entire Senate pretty soon. Thank you. Finally, we'll go to Senate nomination number 47, Mr. Frank Lee of Flowood. Mr. Lee is currently serving on the commission, Gaming Commission, that has been reappointed by Governor Reeves to a 4-year term. All of you, as with Mr. Felder, have the information on the background check that is required. Mr. Lee, you and I have known each other a long, long time, and I appreciate with everything you've got going on, your willingness to serve in this capacity. Can you tell us what you've learned serving on the Gaming Commission?
Well, I probably learned that I'm probably worth exactly what the state of Mississippi pays me to do the job, but fortunately,
just for the public, what is that amount, Mr. Lee?
Fortunately, I have good advice and counsel from our executive director and our counsel on the Gaming Commission that always give us thorough advice on matters. And I'm happy to say that as long as I've been on the Gaming Commission, that integrity has always been a big part of the process, and that's important to me. And I'm glad to see that it was there before I got there, and it continues to be there today.
What would you say are some of the most challenging decisions that you've had to vote on since serving on the commission?
Well, we always have disciplinary decisions that we have to review, and you know, sometimes those can be challenging. I guess the most challenging one recently that we've had was the consideration of the site for RW development in the city of Biloxi, and you know, the legalities on that were very very intricate and required a great deal of study. But that's probably been the most difficult decision. And then sometimes the disciplinary decisions can be a little taxing as well.
I do want to come back to the RW matter in just a minute. Before I do, I want to be sure to recognize any members of the committee that have any questions. Senator Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Lee, for your service on the Gaming Commission. Not specific to RW necessarily, but when we first went through your confirmation a few years ago, Senator Delano asked some questions about just the regulatory scheme and how heavily regulated the gaming industry is. I don't know if you remember that line of question or not. Along those same lines, knowing how heavily regulated the industry is and how important those regulations are, some in the industry see the RW decision as a deviation or the example of the Gaming Commission exercising some discretion in the enforcement of its regulations regarding site suitability. In your experience, given your experience and assuming another term coming up, do you see an appetite by the commission to, I guess, exercise that discretion further regarding site suitability?
Well, I guess I don't really see a lot of discretion there. I don't think the Gaming Commission has a lot of discretion. I believe that it's the job of the Gaming Commission to look at the statutes and look at the regulations and make the decisions accordingly. I know that that some people in the industry would have preferred we made another decision. There were people who wanted us to make the decision we made. But I think it's our job not to exercise a great deal of discretion, but to do what the statutes and the regulations call us to do. And not to do what we think someone might want us to do or what we might personally prefer to do. I think it's our job to look at the statutes in particular and the regulations as well and make the decisions according to those.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Any other senators with any questions? One thing, Commissioner Lee, and I was at that meeting in December when the RW matter was considered. One thing that really struck me after that was made was much of the decisions that are made regarding gaming in the state are based on the regulations of the commission. And 2 members of the commission can change those regulations in 30 days. In the way that any other commission can change its administrative regs. Those regs have been largely the same for a long, long time. And to me, that has been very important in the growth and stability of the industry, that we have a consistent regulatory environment. Do you see any effort to change those longstanding regulations through the administrative process of the commission?
I guess there might always be times that the commission might consider changes to the regulations. I'm not aware of any proposed changes or discussion of changes relative to site regulation, if that's a specific concern.
Yes.
I'm not aware of any like that. I mean, my suggestion would be that regulations always serve to clarify and only to clarify the laws put in place by the legislature. I don't think it's my place as a member of the Gaming Commission to try to, backtrack and think about what the legislature might or might not have intended 20 years ago. I believe that if we pass a regulation, it should be to clarify And to go no further than that, I mean, we're not a legislative body. And so I would be very slow in my consideration of regulatory changes, because I would never want to go beyond or establish a regulation that falls well short of what the legislature has done as the elected representatives of people in making the laws.
And with regard to the RW site, did you feel like that decision was based on a very specific set of facts for that individual development, or do you see that as something that could bring other site locations that have been previously rejected before the commission to rule in a different way?
Well, I think it, as considered, was a very unique set of facts. However, as approved, it might be instructive to others to duplicate that set of facts.
Fair enough. Any other questions for Mr. Lee? Is there a motion on Senate nomination 47? Senator Younger moves that we do advise and consent on Senate nomination number 47. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Lee. Thank you for
Thank you, Mr.
for giving up
Chairman.
your time, this important position, and we'll report your nomination to the full Senate. Can I get a motion to rise and report? Rise and report.